My hands trembled with silent rage as my rich wife, Veronica, smirked across the Christmas table. The room was lavishly decorated, glittering ornaments, twinkling lights, and the scent of roasted turkey filling the air. Guests laughed and clinked glasses, but I felt trapped in a storm of humiliation and anger. It had started subtly over the past few months. Veronica had always been proud, assertive, and confident in her social circles. But lately, her remarks had begun to sting. She would make cutting comments, flaunt her wealth, or subtly insult me in front of friends and family. I tried to ignore it, reminding myself that appearances matter at these gatherings, but tonight, it had escalated. As dinner progressed, she leaned back in her chair, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "Oh, by the way," she said casually, "the garage is full of all your toys you bought for yourself. Funny how much effort you put into them when you could have just spent time helping with the guests." A ripple of laughter followed from some of the family members nearby. My face burned. I clenched my fists under the table, feeling both rage and humiliation coiling in my chest. This wasn't the first time she had mocked me, but the timing, during a festive family gathering, made it unbearable. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Reacting impulsively would have only given her more satisfaction. Instead, I decided to respond with calm precision, letting my actions speak louder than my words. "Veronica," I said quietly, my tone even, "I see you're enjoying yourself. Let's finish dinner first." She raised an eyebrow, sensing the shift in my demeanor, but said nothing. The rest of the meal passed in a tense silence, punctuated by polite conversation that barely masked the undercurrent of tension between us. Later, when the guests had begun to leave, I approached her privately. "We need to talk," I said firmly, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. Veronica smirked, thinking she had already won. "About what?" she asked, feigning ignorance. "About respect," I replied. "About boundaries. And about the way you humiliate me in front of others. This isn't just about the garage or Christmas dinner, it's about a pattern that can't continue." Her smirk faltered slightly. I didn't think it was a big deal. Everyone knows how competitive you are about your toys and gadgets. I was just joking." I shook my head slowly. A joke at someone else's expense isn't harmless. Tonight was the tipping point. I won't let this continue, and I won't allow my self-respect to be undermined. For the first time, I saw a flicker of concern in her eyes. She realized that her words and attitude had consequences, and that my calm, measured response carried more weight than any argument or shouting match could have. Over the next few days, I implemented subtle but decisive changes. I focused on asserting boundaries, reclaiming my autonomy, and ensuring that my voice was heard in decisions that affected both of us. I didn't seek revenge in the dramatic sense. Instead, I reclaimed control over my life and space, letting actions, not words, demonstrate my resolve. Veronica soon realized that her smirks and cutting remarks no longer elicited the reactions she expected. I remained composed, firm, and deliberate in my interactions. The dynamic shifted, respect replaced ridicule, and boundaries that had once been blurred became clear. Reflecting on that Christmas dinner, I understood an important lesson. Humiliation and subtle manipulation are powerful tools, but measured responses, clarity, and calm assertiveness are even stronger. By maintaining composure and taking decisive, respectful action, I not only preserved my dignity but also reshaped the dynamics of our relationship. The incident with the garage and the smirk across the table became a turning point. It reminded me that true strength isn't loud or aggressive, it's quiet, deliberate, and unshakable. Veronica learned that respect cannot be demanded through intimidation or ridicule, it must be mutual and earned. Over time, our interactions changed. The tension eased, and while challenges remained, the underlying pattern of subtle humiliation disappeared. I realized that standing firm, even in moments of anger or embarrassment, can transform a relationship and empower oneself in ways words alone cannot. Looking back, that night wasn't just about a garage or a Christmas dinner. It was about understanding power dynamics, reclaiming self-respect, and demonstrating that composure and decisiveness can outmatch arrogance and mockery. The lesson stayed with me long after the decorations were packed away, a reminder that dignity and boundaries are priceless, and that even the quietest gestures of self-respect can leave the most lasting impression.